Good day and welcome to Fall 2025. Let's get straight into it. And you watch, we're going to get off time first try. There's absolutely no way we could possibly fail as we go wide on the first corner. That's more corners than all the AO1s combined in the past. Which already seems like it's a good start. So welcome in, how you all doing? Tell me what you think of this campaign when you've played it. I would love to know, as we have some nice boosts to round off map number 1. I mean, it would be funny if that's enough, but okay, they're very easy as always on the first few maps. I won't give too many tutorials for the first few, or the tips I should say. But that one, definitely go a bit more inside at the start and then collect the inside lines without dropping your gears. And speaking of gears, very important on dirt here. Go for the outside line if you want to risk. We got a double outside map, okay. And down we go. You can do some zigzags at the end if you really want to get into some tactics, but not necessary. That map, pretty cool as well. Onwards with the next, and yeah, the big thing for this season is it was confirmed 2 seasons ago that we will have alt cars in this campaign. Something I personally don't like, but it's not really about if I like it or not. I think that they should just be 2 separate campaigns. One that has your normal playthrough, has like a lot of different styles, and then another one which has your alt cars, which can be grinded by your masterful players in that kind of style. And I don't know if they should be mixed. I don't know. Whenever there's a map which has like gates and you have to change car halfway through, are we going this way or left? That was a bit to the side there, I wasn't sure. And around we go. That last map's, again, look for a lot of your speed to... I don't know, ice is hard for me to give tips on because I'm not the fastest on it. Grass is a lot easier where you just make the flow pretty quickly, but I mean, I can't even give you tips on these maps because you just get the off time first try if you've played the game for more than an hour. Which, I don't know, it's nice that it gives beginners a chance, but I feel like they're possibly a bit too easy. But we actually have more ice, which I think ice was lacking from some of the previous campaigns. So maybe we'll see a bit more ice in this campaign. And a pretty straightforward end. Ooh, 69. Nice. And we again get it. And then you get trophies for depending how many of your ranks you get. So you might get 5 bronze there and you'll get a bronze trophy. If you get all the off times, you get a silver one there. Onwards with the next difficulty. Maybe I'll start to give a bit more tips now that these will be a little bit more tough. Looking like releasing so far, but maybe drifting. This one looks like a drift. No, it's still releasing. Maybe this is a full release NASCAR style map, but not in a NASCAR style. Kind of rare to see this kind of releasing, but not in a NASCAR map. Ooh, we immediately don't get it. Okay, okay. There we go. Now we know the map. A lot more outside to inside here, and that will already gain a lot more. Definitely know this part. One thing I will say is that checkpoint counter, when you go up hills, is always in the way. I noticed that a long time ago. Alright. 690 on the minus. Very nice as we go to the next one. Maps so far pretty decent, nothing too much to talk about, but I think there's been more turns than usual, which is a plus in my opinion. I will try a drift, but don't know if that was needed. There was 2 options there. Are we coming back to that? No, that's just scenery by the looks of it. There we go, and down. Yeah, it was just scenery, I think. These you want to enter on the left and then end up in the middle if you really want to get tactical. And same here, you want to go really high and then... Okay, I wasn't sure where the finish was. An optical illusion with the finish. line there. And that will be enough, because that was a decent run. So, no alt cars yet, but I have a feeling in a map or two, we will see them. I was concerned that you could cut this freewheel, but it doesn't look like it. I think that's definitely going to be a jump. But for now, I'm not sure if I had the speed. Around we go. Let's gain a lot more. Bit of a speed ending here. More plastic. Drop down. And there's a PF reactor. Of course it is. I'd like to see a bit more than PFNs and stuff as well. I've had this in many different campaign videos I've talked about. And people seemingly have mixed opinions on it. They're like, oh, it's nice to have a bit of relief, but I don't know, I just... If you do it so often, is it a relief? It's in most maps. But it's not as often anymore, I will say that. Alright, round we go, get a better start. Let's go for the jump. Let's end on the left, because there's more height, but we still didn't make it. So let's practice this a bit. Okay, so left to the middle. Yeah, so far so good. Maps seem a-okay. I'm kind of surprised that there hasn't been an alt car, but I think usually they wait until map 10. And then simplynick will be on a difficulty curve. Hey, get this map. It was funny. I think I was watching, I was watching Top Gear with the interviews. And Jeremy Clarkson is like, whenever the guests come up with excuses, that's what all the race drivers come up with if they've made a mistake or something. And I was going to say, my excuse is a valid one. I haven't really been playing this game as much because I've been sick for 2 months and then I lost my internet for 1 week. So I haven't played this game as much, and it's seemingly showing because I already am failing to get off times here. I don't really know how that was not off time, but we will go again. Yes, maybe we lost a lot of time here. I'm not making this though. What is this? Gotta go way more left. Watch out for the gear on this plastic as well. That will lose you a lot of time. Okay, let's go like this and safe it a bit. Now I've gone horrifically there. Yeah, my time was not that bad. I'm going to try something different at the end here though. I'm going to try and go on the side. I think I'm going to get a zoop if I do this. No, I have a low boost, which maybe doesn't give you a zoop. I'm not sure. Alright, this is the longest I've ever spent on a green map. I think in, what are we up to? 20 campaigns plus? I don't think I've ever spent this amount of time on a green map. That was not a great start, but we got a good angle there, so that will help. Round we go. Smooth with the keyboard tapping. Have more speed for this. Maybe. There we go, that's the floating a bit more. And down to a finish finally. The weather was too hot. Yeah, that was one which a lot of the drivers always came up with an excuse. I mean, it is hot for me. It's supposed to be 34 degrees tomorrow, and it's still 2 months away from summer. If you're European and complain about the heat, I would question you. Alright, big drift at the start. Another big drift here. And I wasn't sure if it was going to be to the side or not there. It was just straight, and again we failed that corner. So a bit of a learning curve on this one, but I will always say, if you're struggling with drifting, use maps like this and utilize the checkpoint placements. Usually they're fairly good, sometimes you will not get a good one, but like if I went from that checkpoint, just keep retrying over and over and over again, and it's in a good placement. This is also in a good placement to practice this one corner. And just do that over and over again until you start to find a line that works. And you watch, I'll get this second try. Absolutely no way I could possibly joke about it. So I get a slower start. Not the right line through here. This will not be enough. So, learning curve on this one, that's for sure. This will definitely not be enough off time. Looking at last map, let's just continue to practice the map. I think a lot of pros prefer to like continue the map entirely, unless you're doing part maps. But for me, I find utilizing the respawns and just practicing from respawns, it's a bit more helpful. I guess you'd say that's kind of like part maps, but... Alright, we did actually somehow get that off time, so I think they may have made it a bit slower because it was a lot of drifting. But I did get a good end, to be fair. Up we go. Okay, that was a big jump. Are we going to go from like a 5-minute green map to a one tap? No, of course we don't. We failed the one transition. Okay. Interesting. Really finding the line here. Yes, we'll waste time and get a lot of airtime, but I feel like you can do that a lot lower. A weird PF water section. Setting us off. A little map here though, starting to learn these transitional type styles. Alright, let's go push with a lot more speed. I don't know if this will be it or not, but yeah, I don't think so. There we go. Concerned about this gear at the end, but we'll see. So unfortunately that might have been it, but I did go too far. Blue line at the start here will definitely help. Wasn't so great, but a lot more speed this time, although we are behind. I've jinxed it. Not a quick time on this either. Yeah, I feel like the not playing Trackmania a lot is showing today. It's kind of my only break I've had since the game release. Definitely needed. I would imagine I'm definitely top 5 on players' amount of hours in total in the entire game. I'd be surprised if there's a lot of people above me, if I'm to be honest. So, having a break eventually was inevitable. If maybe it wasn't in the way I expected, but I did expect to get the off time there, and we got it, and surprisingly no alt cars yet, so I guess for matchmaking they kept it with 0 alt cars. If you're a beginner, you'll get the first 10 cars. 10 cars, 10 maps. So that Black Road transition was not mapped very well. I could not see that at all. Down to a loop. This reminds me of like really one of the early dirt maps. There's another question I have for you guys, as always. Who played this game from the beginning? And when did you start Trackmania in general? That's another thing I I have on most players is I'm definitely one of the oldest playing players as I played since the original. Let's jump a bit over this one. That's a lot too much airtime, but to the outside line, and that will be smooth. Don't need an outside line for this, and then hold the gear. And nailed it. Maybe an RPG map here, which I think they should definitely add a lot more of. But I guess they are one of the harder styles, so... Is this just going to be back and forward, though? Surprise jump. Okay, we have got out of that up and down. No, we haven't. We're back to a bigger one. And I wasn't sure if we were going to go a lot further or not. But it is quite short again. Speaking of short, even shorter. So definitely a map to learn a bit here. How much height do we need? Check it while we're at the end. Can I go like super low? You can go fairly low, but not too low. Alright. Speaking of low, let's go low jump at the start. I'm not sure about those ones. But these ones you always want to go lower. Like that was way too high, I think. It'll work for now, but move this a little bit. And up and over. Release early. Oh, that was way too much height, but... Well, let's keep going. And around for the final time. Let's aim slightly to the blue sign, which felt a little bit high, but it is enough for overtime, so maybe some of those lines can help. Woods. Other ice map. Which, is it going to be entirely bobsleigh? Because I will say, personally, just find the bobsleigh map super boring. It just feels like press forward to me. But we are out of it. We'll go for an early slide here. Release to cancel your full angle. And back over. I will say, are these custom block corners? So, do they ever use custom blocks in the Nardeo campaign? I think they have, but I'm not sure it's usually only for scenery. I can't remember. But those transition blocks looked like they were. But yeah, funnily enough, with it being quite a boring map, I get it first try. Like, that's another thing. Like, I feel like there's just not really too much to it once you learn it. Like, a lot of people say, like I've often said in the past, it's kind of self-explanatory, but that's, to me, it's self-explanatory. Because I guess I've played it a lot. And by self-explanatory, I mean just kind of look for the red line and aim to take that smoothly. And a lot of people like, oh, that doesn't really help as much, but every time I play those bobsleigh maps, I seem to get all the time very quickly, so I don't think it's a fast way of playing bobsleigh, but it's a consistent way of playing it. And as I said, I don't personally enjoy it, so I'm not going to hunt them. It's interesting. I went a bit too far there. It's a good run so far. You can just kind of watch my angles that I'm aiming for. Not sure how much of the penalty grass you want to avoid there. This one was a lot tighter. I'll go for release, and it has worked. And I think you stay on the ground, and that's my first good time of today. That was a good run. Nice. So I didn't really give tips there, but you can definitely take my lines on that one. Up and over we go, and down and over we go. Alright, is this a remake of a turbo map? This is the kind of style that loopings had in that game. Although this part doesn't look recognizable to me. I had a bit of a left-right flow trick, is what it's called there, I think. Bit of left-right again, not necessary for that one. How wide is this? And around we go, and over still. How long is this? It's just double again. That's a surprise, and to a finish line. Okay, full speed map, seems to be nice, and first try. So you can definitely do those wall rides a lot quicker, and if you really want to starting to get advanced, you start to speed slide those exits and entries. Ride trick, yeah, that might be right. As we hit some loading, I don't know why this happens occasionally, but onwards, and we have some fragile, so not getting airtime this time. As I say that I get airtime, let's ignore that. I was going to say that is a bit odd. That looks like unavoidable airtime. Okay, I'm a bit confused by that sector, but seems to work. I'm not really sure. So you saw the wobble there. That means you got fragile. But it didn't seem to slow down much. Okay, no fragiles in this transition. Oh. It's a lot of airtime. You can probably get that a lot lower. This one, you can brake a bit. A bit different, which is cool. See, like that to me feels like way too much airtime. But it doesn't seem to be slowing me down much, so I'm not really sure how to give tips on this one. That was not it, but we'll take it. Go for a bit more of a flow style there. Oh! And by flow, I mean you can use these sides. They give you a bit of a tilt, and that always means you get a lower jump, which is nice. You have to restart. To release. This one you definitely want to be close on the side, but it wasn't angled properly, so... See, if I do this, I don't really have that much fragile, which I feel like you should have a massive amount of fragile there. I'm completely confused. Right, and so the lower jump that time, that makes that corner a bit more difficult. Okay, I'm utterly confused by this map. I don't know what's going to be the quickest lines here. Is that enough? I think it will be. No, a bit more once we get into the reds. They are a little bit more difficult. It's far too much, but that's alright. This one more inside, so we can keep the speed this time. Now I keep the speed and I get air time. It's the gear a bit there, but we'll continue. That felt super slow, but let's keep going. That's the lower jump I talked about. Start wide, and yeah, I'm not really sure for this jump. I think all the others are pretty logical, but that one I'm not sure about. We got the angle, but we got a bit of too much airtime, I think, still. Got the gear, so this time we can make that smooth. Alright, a lot better of a run. And away we go. Weird map, but not necessarily bad. But I see we have these tighter grass blocks. So are we getting our alt cars now? It'd be funny if there wasn't any alt cars after all that's been expected. But I didn't watch the video because I like to go in with no spoilers, but yeah, I'm certain that there is alt cars at some point. I'm very surprised that there hasn't been yet. I will put it that way. Alright, I haven't learnt a lot from this map just yet. But seemingly you're using outside lines, go through the triangle here. Sneaky finish. Not sure if I'm a fan of these maps. They seem to always add this for like map 17. And I think this is map 17 again, isn't it? Yeah. They just... they're different, so I don't know how to rate them. I guess maybe is one way of putting it. They're not necessarily bad, it's just... we've held the reactor. So you want to go a lot sharper to get into the grip early. Don't have reactor. Rude. Just kind of driving to the end. Oh, it nearly feels PF-y. Alright, that's probably not enough, and it isn't. When you jump with reactor, it can save you going over penalty grass. I'm not sure if there's a small tactic at the start there, but now I won't bother. That's a better angle. Oh, we just tapped, so we're just too early, but that would definitely work better. It's way better now that I know that it's a bit delayed. Away we go to the press 40 part. A lot further ahead, so... tapped, of course. Which is enough. Alright. So just learning the map there a little bit. So for the tight corner you couldn't see, you see that, or you remember that it's a bit of a delay. So stuff like that. Alright, we have sausage tech by the looks of it. And this is an exclamation mark because I enjoyed hunting the previous sausage tech map, which people, for the most part, don't like, but when it's a map well made, it is extremely fun. But they have to be well made, which is very difficult. So let's see if this one's going to be a fun one. Because I already struggled a bit at the start there. My turn. This one's not a full sausage, got a bit of normal tech in it as well. Oh, and it's got a reactor. Okay, it's short though. Ooh, toughy there maybe. Bit of a long return to the finish. Okay, wait. Not a jump to the side, just a drift and a jump. Okay, I don't think my interest has peaked as much as the previous one. I felt like the previous one was top notch. This feels like it's great, but not excelling. But either way, could be a lot of fun still. As I get annihilated by my car there. So this is definitely a map you've got to learn. The drifts, and again, what I said earlier, try and practice with the checkpoints given, although... no, there is a checkpoint straight away. So this one here, practice the inside line, practice getting the grip early. I got a bit of airtime there, which is definitely not what you want. So things like that, you definitely eventually get going with this kind of style. I carry the inside this time. Big boy drift. I've needed to release, but ideally don't. Inside drift. Wide drift, this was tight. And this one you can use a little bit of the sausage to get your drift going. Yeah, not as exciting, but seems like a fun map still. Oof! I wasn't sure if I threw that. Cool. I love to see that in the campaign. I don't think a lot of people will, but I do. Alright, now are we up to 19, which is also usually a full speed map, and we are seeing some loops and boosts, so maybe that will be the case. Although we have full grass here, which is good for helping speed slides. Oh! I still made it. Gonna keep going. But yeah, this one doesn't look like a traditional full speed map. A bit of that, I don't know what you call this style. Like bobble plastic? I don't know. Like this block here, I don't know what you call that. It is kind of the same, but it's the tighter style of wall riding, I guess. Right, I don't know if... I don't think that's as good of a map as they could make, but I think there's been kind of two more traditional style full speed maps, so maybe they wanted to change it up a little bit. Alright, there we go, watch out for the edge there. Alright, is this going to be a cooked offer time? Or is it going to be fine? We had a really slow start, but maybe this middle section has been fine. It's a bit hard for me to tell when it's the non-traditional one. That was super wide, and I also needed to correct it. Not enough. How is the campaign so far? That's a good question. The answer is, it is A-okay so far. And surprisingly, no alt cars. There definitely will be an alt car, or alt cars, but so far there hasn't been. That's a lot better of a start. You can feel the speed. I got a lot better of the angle for the grass. This one I still don't know. That felt a lot better. Kind of a bit more smooth at the top. Building the speed slides, and I have a lot more speed. Look at the blue time going up and up. Although it went down there, so I've failed that a little bit, but a better angle at the end is enough. Right. I was going to say, I'm feeling alt cars this map. Let's find out. Oh no, it's one of the freewheeling ones. I find this more boring than bobsleigh. Some acceleration there. Then instantly back to nothing. Also very long respawns if you need a respawn on this one. Throwing away my speed, but let's just see where it goes. Nope, we have to respawn. I don't know, I find this extremely boring, especially for a late map. I find this super, super boring. Was that an anti-boost? That wasn't even a boost. That was an anti-boost. Like, ugh. This is probably my least favorite map so far. You jinxed it, Blatter guy. Oof. Are people going to be able to grip on that? That is fascinating. So there's a small black line on that block if you place it down on grass. So have a watch when we go through it next time here. And there'll be people who can probably somehow grip that entire thing. I don't think I will be able to. Oh, here we go. Releases. But you don't want to release too much because you want the speed for the rest of the map. So I think this map will definitely be all in the start. That's probably the wild card way of doing it, but I think for now I just go wide. It's a bit hard to see in camera one, unfortunately. I mean, let's try it. Let's try and get the grip here. Yeah, that is crazy. I think they have done that on purpose. Problem is, you try it and you lose it, and you're just instantly going to go out. So if you don't go for it, you're fine. Oh, there's a crappy gear there, maybe. But not a fan of this map. Not at all. They made it. Slightly wider for a little bit longer there. I guess this is what you're supposed to do with the gear problem. Is you're supposed to get the grip, and then it's not an issue. All of that, I suppose. Not a fast start. But... Please go wide. Watch out for snow. So I'll go for the non-grip way. Yeah, and then you just get a horrible gear. I don't think this is a good map at all. See if that's enough. We're high on the leaderboard, so it is enough. And we got all the off time, so we got another trophy. Yeah, I had to drop my mood a little bit. That was like decent enough campaign, and then just that map. Not a fan of that one. I think there are major issues with that at the start and at the end. Like, it will be a super satisfying replay watch, but I do not want to play it. Alright, it is alt time. So are we just going to get 5 alt car maps? Considering we've jumped straight into it. Now, I don't like the fact that I just pop it into Action Key 2 or something, Action Key 3. And that is enough for Rally. Like, I just find that extremely boring. Of course, that's a skill issue, but I'm playing keyboard right now, and you just can't play it without Action Key. Whereas Desert is not too bad. And Snow, you also don't really need it, but feel like snow is just go for as much inside line as possible. Which again is also very skillful, but I don't really find it that entertaining. Personally. Alright, a 106.9, that is very slow compared to the records, so I have to watch out. Get a better start, that's for sure. Do tell me what you think of the alt cars and these maps. People will be like, oh, you're just full negative. I'm just saying my opinion. It's not really supposed to be a negative or a positive. I just think for me it's not that fun. There's no point in me faking it. I find fakers even more annoying. And that first turn's quite tough. You have a lot of speed there. Transition, round we go, take it fairly smooth. Maybe I do need action key on this one, I'm not sure. All I'm hearing is my tapping of the keyboard. Alright, is that gonna be enough? It is. Okay, so just smooth driving. Put your action key 3, I think it is, for the rally if you need it. And hopefully you can eventually get that. If I can get it that quickly, hopefully you can get it at some point. Because I will say I haven't played alt maps in like over 3 months probably. And I had to practice for like half an hour just before playing this because I'm like, I don't remember how to play alt cars. Weird, very weird bumps here. You gotta watch out for. So a little bit of a slower style map here, which looks like it should have the rally car, but it is only stadium. So the chance of being all alt black maps is not at this time. I will say we didn't get the, we got a full speed map, but we didn't get a tech map, which is often map 21. I didn't mention that because I was so focused on getting the alt driving correct. So they don't fully have a guideline to like this map will be this, but I do genuinely find that they keep to a lot of them. Like I think map like 17 was the same, and like it's this was the odd part. Okay, I do not understand this bump. Bit weird. Anyway, we will have to go for a third time then, but let's continue pracking. Especially early on, just like finish a lot of runs. There's a lot of outside there. I think for like this part, you might want an action key, unfortunately. I'm failing that, so I think I'll just play normal. Big whip drift to end off the map. There was a green tech, yeah, but they've also often done that a green tech map, so that's what I mean by like they have these guidelines that this map will be this. Sometimes they don't always do it. But yeah, I think I've said this like a long time ago. I'm like, I feel like they should just choose, like, it doesn't have to be map 19 be a full speed map, like, or whatever. But I'm also in the same opinion of, I think that there should be an alt campaign Even if it was just like twice a year instead of 4 times a year. That would make the alt community super happy, like, and I think it would be fun to just, I probably wouldn't hunt any of the maps, but I would give the maps a go. That's just my opinion on it, but people differ to that. Yeah, I just feel like that's so obvious. Just like have the campaign, do that job, and then have a second campaign. It's a win-win. More content. Why not? Okay, that was surprisingly enough. It wasn't the best run. It wasn't the worst run. Nice start, by the way. But while I'm yapping, sometimes I drive good enough. So there we go on that last map. Just find all those drifts as best as you can, and you should be able to get it eventually. Ooh, a nice different wool ride there. Is it a turnaround? Yes it is. And I failed it because it's plastic. I feel like there might be some major bug landings on that section, but I could be wrong. We have a beautiful no-break section randomly. Wasn't too bad on the second run. Slalom. Jump. Wow. To the finish line. A bit of a longer map. Although I did have maybe a few respawns. Try and get the gear at the start there might help, but I have overjumped massively, so maybe not. If you don't get it, you get a way better jump. One you can definitely land smoothly. Just funky wall ride. Maybe utilize that airtime to drift all the way through. Try that for now. No break. Too far, but tried releasing early to maybe see if I could stay in the gear, which I did, but then I eventually lost it. So I'm not sure if that is the approach you want. That was slightly too wide, but that wide line was going to set me up for a nice turn here, but I stuffed it. Oh, and I've also failed to get a good gear there, so probably going to have to go again. I was going to say that was a good enough run, but never mind. Terrible ending. But it is terribly enough. And overtime, that's interesting to me. I don't think that was good enough. I do wonder how they make overtimes. Like, to me, I made a better campaign on some campaigns that I don't think were that good. And I made custom overtimes, but I had no idea if like they were going to be fast or not. So I don't know how they work it out. And I think in general they do a very good job. I think sometimes the tech and full speed maps are a bit cooked, but maybe that's on purpose. Yeah, oh, funky map here. I don't know if am I supposed to get this checkpoint? Yes, I am. Okay. Why was I jumping so far then? Maybe with low speed it doesn't work, with high speed it does. Hill. I was going to say, I don't see a single finish line here. Wonky map. So only one alt car map, which I'm very surprised by. So I think for sure the final map is going to be alt cars. Still not really sure about that start. It's an extra long corner. Drift. Yeah. Because this is a checkpoint, so you have to go through this. I also hate that that's a checkpoint because I can't practice. So I'll try an early release, but a little bit odd. Let's go for a way more outside line, and that worked brilliantly. Too much of a turn, but it's plausible to control. Not sure if it was really slow, but I controlled it. Maybe use a bit of a ramp cut there. Alright, let's try the early release. Okay, that has worked. Then I overjump this. Maybe it's bug slide? But I think if you land and go on a bug slide with that wood, it's just going to stop you. What is going on in that middle section? What the hell? This map seems fine other than that middle. I don't know what's up with the middle. I don't know if I'm missing something extremely obvious, which is probably likely. Yeah, those penalty grass really stop you. I'm not sure how to counter that. Let's go for the straighter line, and hasn't made too much of a difference. No airtime there definitely has made a difference. Ramp cut. Early release. Yeah, like it just stops you if you go for a bug slide, so it's not that either. What on earth is this middle sector? I don't really get that. I think that would have been cool as a bug slide, or... I don't know. That's a very odd one. Maybe it seems if you're like driving straight on the grass, it doesn't give you as much penalty. Speaking of getting penalty, you don't want to be that wide. So let's restart. Drive straight. I'm not really sure yet. Early brake. Let's just get into the reactor. I mean, if you just get into the reactor fast, like, it's a good idea. Air time. Start the drift a little bit after the checkpoint. Odd angle to hit, but anyway. What is this? This feels like it's mapped wrong, or am I just missing something? Guess I'm supposed to go like far out and then cut in? That feels so awkward. A little bit inside line this time. Got a miss gear there though, so change of gear. Another void. Let's start this drift early, because then we get a better angle here. Like, that's fine, but it's very odd. To the finish line. Like, that shouldn't have took that long. So there you go. No, there you don't go, because that wasn't enough. Okay then. save that because I'm so bored of this map. Let's just get the finish and head off. I don't know why that took so long. That's really killed my mood, that map. But let's refocus on this map. And I'm very surprised I haven't seen an alt car straight away. There's no shot they only put one alt car in. I don't believe that. There's no way. They've got a repeat of that outside turn. I mean, good for me, because I'm not that much of a fan of it, but it's kind of good if you, like, know that they're going to be in the campaign, because then if you want, you can just avoid it. Or if you want to play it like me, you can, like, prepare yourself to know that the alt cars are coming. Ow. Actually only put one map in? Did I, like, miss a map? Like, I don't believe that. That's crazy to me. The alt car community is going to be so annoyed by that. This is map 25, isn't it? I haven't missed a map. Yeah? Yeah, I got the trophy, so I don't even need to check the map number. What? What? What's the point of just adding one? If you're gonna add them at least a couple times. Again, like, I don't like that, but that's, like, logical, because then, like, your alt car players will enjoy multiple different maps. You're not just gonna enjoy one map. I don't know if they'll want to play it if there's only one map, right? I wouldn't be motivated if there's only one map. Actually, that's a lie, because I played the Sausage Tech map a lot, and I didn't play any of the other campaign maps, really. I can't speak for that. The edges this time. I will say this map is nothing too special to me. I'd like to know people's thoughts on this map. It does not feel like much, and of course we've just failed on the last fucking turn. Classic. I doubt that would have been enough. We had a pretty bad ending. That's so surprising. Just can't believe they advertised it as alt cars. I need to go check the trailer then, I think. Yeah, this turn you can do way more speed. I'm not playing this one. Great. It's a decent turn there. Edge, nice. That was good. This could definitely be it. I don't stuff up the end. Maybe next time. What's next time either? Great start, let's keep it. We can nail this turn, we can gain a lot. Not the best, but let's continue. Stated that this one you can go a lot faster. Yes. A bit worried about the speed on this now though. Okay, that was too much release. Bit weird. You have to drift, but you have free wheel. I'm not really sure how to do those kind of turns. Not very natural. Thought I was going to flip there, but we haven't. This turn's odd. This ice nearly feels out of place. And we've thrown it again at the end. We're playing like really good, and then we just throw it right at the end. Enough. Get to see the car a little bit there though. Something else you get now. Instead of just trophies, which honestly to me seem completely irrelevant, but maybe they're not. White again, but just continue. Yeah, my start can definitely be improved. For that start, you definitely want to low jump there, and then again, the low jump with the angle here will really help. You see how much a wide turn wastes time, so just learning small things like that will definitely help along the way. Double tap brake if you're struggling getting this with a lot of speed can work well. That's beautiful lag. Establish that I can do this with a lot more speed, and you can see that. Oh. Super slow start, but we got more speed out of it, so let's continue. Finally hit that turn nicely. Pre-turn, or pre-angle, I don't know what you would call it. Too bad of a drift. Down we go. This drift, a brake, but I'm not sure if I needed that. Oh yes, that is satisfying. That was full risk. Yeah, this map's better now that I'm playing it at full speed. Other than this part, I don't really understand that part. Alright, let's completely do that wrong, because I keep failing it, but at least that means I make it. And into the red lines. No, we failed that a bit, but should be enough. And error 404 to finish off the campaign. Alright, what are we thinking? I'm quite mixed. I think the first few are decent enough, like they're fine, they work. When we get to the middle, they start to definitely up in difficulty as always. This map was like RPG, I was hoping for a bit more, but it just felt a bit up and down, up and down. So not the most exciting. Some old school stuff, some new school stuff. There is a sausage tech for me. I wonder... I don't know, I don't... like, I instantly clicked with that last sausage tech map. I'm like, this will be awesome to do at full speed. And I think this will be the same. It'll be really fun to do it full speed because it's sausage tech, but... I don't know, I think it's not as interesting of a map, but I definitely will play it. Then we get to 20, which I think is one of the worst maps they've ever made, unfortunately. And then, for me personally, I think 24 is also horrific. That middle section just is not fun. So 20 and 24 really dropped this campaign, but let's pretend like that's just me, like that could just be my interpretation on that. I think everything else is perfectly fine. I mean, good for me that there's not alt cars, but I don't know why they haven't put more alt cars in. Like, that flabbergasts me, which is just quite shocking, I think is the most appropriate word. I was not expecting only one. Usually they add a gate map in 10, usually they add one maybe in 14 or something. I mean, usually there's one in every single lot of 5 outside of the first 5, so I don't know why they haven't done that. Maybe they're playing around with like, ooh, do people like this 21 map? But people really enjoy the tech map because usually it's like one of the best maps and they've just gotten rid of that, so I don't think people are going to be happy with that decision now. It's like, I don't think they get their decisions right. Like, ideas are there, they just, I feel like they just don't hit it correctly. And then people will be like, you're just being negative. I'm just saying it how it is. I just think logically that there should be a campaign with Stadium Car every 3 months. I think then add a alt campaign which all the players can go and discover, which I would love to discover. Like, I don't really like alt cars, but discovering maps can be fun. Add that as a separate campaign, and then those players can also go ham on that. Like, it's just, that seems so logical to me, but I don't think they're ever going to do that. So, I don't know. I just think they have, I don't know if it's priorities wrong or what, but anyway. That's too logical, yeah. Let's put that as the final conclusion of the video. Hope you enjoyed, other than the 24 age, that I probably won't add that in. I might just add the very start and very end of 24. It annoyed me. Yeah, I was not happy with 24. And 20 I just don't think was an interesting map. But other than those two, like, I think that campaign's fine. The problem with the last campaign was just, I feel like it was very forgettable. And I'm kind of having the same feeling, like, I don't know if maybe I'm worn out on campaigns, but I feel like this map, I'm not sure is going to be that rememberable either, if that's a word. Anyway, let's stop yapping. Tell me what you think in the comments, and see ya in another one. Enjoy your day.